The extended cut did do some things it set out to. For example, it showed us how squad mates got on the Normandy. The problem with this is how it makes no sense and is thus contrived. Instead of providing a simple 20-second musical interlude cutscene of the squad mates getting onto a shuttle after being ordered to by Hackett and then showing it land on the Normandy in space, we have to have a long, drawn-out, broken scene, which causes more problems than one is trying to fix. The problem is an actual trope name. It's called the Voodoo Shark. Special thanks to YouTube user Devil Mingy for pointing this out. When the hole you're trying to fix makes more holes, you know you're playing a BioWare game. Aside from their Mass Effect 2 rule of just remove it, they took the extra effort to do what they're really good at, making really broken scenes, all for the sake of melodrama. Shepard is seen running closer and closer to the beam. Dozens of people are dying as Harbinger completely destroys them. Makos and air support alike are getting shot, pushed back, and blown up. Suddenly, a Mako in front of Shepard explodes, but doesn't seem too busted up. Shepard now employs his leveled-up desk-dodging skill, slides, and as the Mako sits on its side, he then uses it as cover, which seemingly appears safe. Suddenly, out of nowhere, another Mako teleports in front of the Mako Shepard's in front of and starts rotating in the air like crazy. Seriously, where did this thing come from? In order for this thing to get this kind of altitude, it had to be directly behind Shepard's Mako. Somehow, instead of not being entirely destroyed by Harbinger or simply being pushed back into Shepard's Mako, it had to play leapfrog by having some kind of explosion from beneath it and then do this amazing vault. So why did the driver drive directly in front of the Mako that just flipped, stop, and then allow Harbinger to make a poor shot beneath it, causing an explosion which made it vault over this thing? How is this possible? We actually have a few instances of Makos getting shot by Harbinger's beam, but not like this. On second glance, this looks like the big brother of all Makos. It's nearly twice the size of the other. I mean, its wheels are at least 1.5 times the size, and this is behind the other one. The Alliance have multiple Mako models. I know there were multiple types on Noveria. Even though we saw most of all the Makos get pushed back and explode into pieces, these two seem okay. So why could, or how could, Harbinger miss? All his other shots hit flying things and Makos and small soldiers straight on. This isn't a chaotic spaceship battle, this is a fish in a barrel. In this situation, how can a Reaper of ungodly mathematical might miss? For some reason, Shepard then jumps over and through the exploding behemoth tank as opposed to just running around it. And here we see two Makos. So, how did anyone get hurt? They're like 10 meters away. Did the explosion push them away? They certainly hit the ground hard. Did everyone lose their kinetic barriers? So, how did they wind up so far away from the larger exploding Mako? And how did the behemoth Mako shrink in size when it's closer to the camera now? So here we see Tali all banged up, and I'm thinking, is that blood over her suit and helmet clothing? Like, through her helmet? Because if it's blood, like from her head, I'd say she's a goner. I'm surprised she's even conscious, Quarian or not. That many suit ruptures and blood loss all over, let alone on her head? Well, yeah, forget it. Or is it just motor oil? Well, Edie seems to have it too, but we actually have a previous scene of Edie's body being banged up, so we can go, oh, I guess her shields just didn't work, or Mako explosions are stronger than grenades or something, or, oh yeah, she's a gynoid. In this scene, Tali's nearly toast, so it's time for some metagel. Metagel? Anyone? Garrus? Shepard? Tali? Come on, don't just sit there like you did with Mr. or Mrs. Vermeer, come on. Because if she got shot to death, yeah, you'd use metagel.
Hey, stay with me. This won't cure the plague, but it might help a bit. Here. That should ease the pain and keep you alive until help arrives.
Got a nice application of metagel ready to go.
Shepard, this is supposedly your love interest. What the hell is wrong with you? It's Tali. Then again, your idea of first aid is staring at someone with a concussion in medbay. Well, maybe metagel doesn't work with concussions, but it can at least stop bleeding. That is her blood on her head, right? Wait, how do we apply metagel to Edie? Oh, let's not get into that. Oh, I know, we're playing a video gamey. That's right, this is one of those special video gamey things called cutscenes. I have to put in my gameplay and story segregation glasses, where we're not going to have a big fight scene with a tentacled monster, even though we're actually doing that right now.
Some kind of giant tentacle creature that would come out of nowhere and be the boss for Mass Effect 3. But you know, it was just so video gamey, and nothing that we did to, you know, kind of work it into the themes really answered the fact that ultimately it just felt like there was an end boss for the sake of having an end boss.
Normandy, do you copy? I need an evac right now.
Okay, first up, who the hell does Shepard think he is? We're following Anderson's plan, a superior officer, to get to the beam. Everyone's following it. It's stupid, but it's the plan. The fate of the galaxy is at stake. You hesitate, it's done. Dozens, if not hundreds, of ground troops have already given their lives for a hammer, just for this ridiculously suicidal trench run. Meters away from us, people are dead or dying. So, Shepard, how about all those guys that just died? Why didn't you call an evac for them? Or these guys? Or how about... Steve! Well, because that would be stupid. Oh, right. Let's not forget more Reapers are on their way. You want to send a shuttle in from the Normandy who's busy fighting all kinds of Reapers in space to somehow make it past their fleet, then past several Sovereign-class Reaper ships and whatever ground troops who shot at the shuttles just to pick up some injured crewmen? Tally's lucky to be alive past 5 seconds, and now you're going to risk a whole bunch of other people just to get her and Garrus out of here. I didn't see Hawk fishing ships calling in for a shuttle drop to get any of his injured men from the ground because he's a goddamn soldier following orders. This is a race. Suck it up, princess. You take your damn broken, bloody body and everyone else with you, kicking and screaming, and you crawl. This would have been such a brilliantly dramatic death or scene of loss. It would have been fantastic. Shepard would have been pumped having to say goodbye to a loved one, or to let go and continue on. He might even shed a tear or grit and
So suck it up, princess. You're in the military now. And you're going to win this for us.
Now, if Shepard had half a brain, he'd realize how crazy Anderson's knee-jerk plan was, and he'd figure a way to get to the beam as opposed to just calling for an evac. How about using a vanguard charge by locking onto destroyed Makos, or even dead Alliance officers? Kind of sad, but their deaths would actually mean something. Or stealthily running around to the side, or crawling. How about a smokescreen, or cloaking? How about any other number of tactics? Because Mr. Reaper over there isn't going to stop firing. Oh, I guess he is. God damn it! So remember in the intro we had so many problems trying to contact the Normandy, we had to find a radio in order to do so. There was a clear blue sky. I guess that problem got cleared up even with the Reaper standing right over there. A whole bunch in orbit coming closer and a massively dark overcast with wind and rain. Let's not forget whatever kind of electromagnetic energy that mysterious space elevator is giving off. But hey, clear signal despite everything blowing up around us, because it's Mass Effect. Whenever the plot needs something, Mass Effect gets it. Now you might think I might care that the SR2 can't land on a planet due to its size or mass or whatever the bullshit codex reasoning is, or the fact that it has no landing gear to speak of and looks like it'd collapse on itself if it did, but who cares? To hell with the codex. BioWare doesn't care. They didn't care in Mass Effect 2 with the Firewalker DLC, and they didn't care in the Mass Effect 3 intro with the Dreadnought. And they certainly don't care in this one. So hey, any Alliance ship of any size can enter any atmosphere of any type and land on any type of planet. Like a large destroyed inclined plane with rubble. They just can. The real problem here are two things. Number one, why didn't they just send a shuttle? Didn't we have a second shuttle in the Normandy? That's what we use shuttles for, transporting people. The Normandy's a bit busy fighting a massive spaceship war with the Sword Fleet and possibly with the SHIELD team in orbit. The Normandy would be flying into and thus trying to get around advancing Reapers from orbit. And didn't we have shuttles from before lying around like the one we came on? And why are they evacuating to the Normandy, which is thousands of miles away? Isn't that ridiculously inefficient and really dangerous for everyone involved? And number two, physics, and most notably time. In case you don't know, the Mass Effect series has no goddamn concept of what planetary re-entry is. We have multiple instances of the SR-1 and SR-2 going to and from space and planetside. In the intro to Mass Effect 3, we see the Normandy take around a minute to get from ground to space. Obviously, the cuts show jumps in time, and considering it's a musical interlude, time is allowed to be a little longer. However, the scene still stands as what's actually happening.
Right, Commander. I'll meet you there. Joke around.
Compare that to Mass Effect with the SR-1 on Vermeer. Though it was designed to land on planets with various atmospheres, it takes an ungodly long amount of time to fly a few kilometers. It's not too far away from ground level, which is the speed of plot, which is around 20 to 60 minutes. So let's see how long it takes Joker to get from space battle in orbit with a fleet of Reapers and their crazy ocular drones to ground level Earth.
Normandy, do you copy? I need an evac, right now.
You have got to be kidding me. 5 seconds. 5 seconds to get out of harm's way, break off from attacking or evading Reaper spaceships to travel through the Earth's atmosphere and somehow less than 200 meters away from where Shepard is. Let's say the Normandy is somewhere in a medium Earth orbit, so around 2,000 to 36,000 kilometers. Let's be fair and put them at 2,000. That means the Normandy was traveling 400 kilometers a second. That's 1,440,000 kilometers per hour, or roughly 900,000 miles per hour. The only way this is remotely possible without destroying the Normandy by entering an atmosphere is, ta-da, Mass Effect corridors. This means Joker jumped into a self-created massless Mass Effect corridor, bypassing the entire war and Earth's atmosphere, and magically figured out to exit right where Shepard was. This kind of calculation would be nuts to figure out, at least, and there's absolutely no indication that anyone in the entire galaxy would even have attempted this before. This is, of course, absolutely freaking crazy, but, writers. So here's a good question. If we had this amazingly crazy maneuver, why didn't Shepard tell Anderson about this? What was the point of Hammer Team? Getting all these personnel down from orbit, flying in shuttles, making them easy targets, getting them shot out of the sky when Normandy could have just teleported like 100 or so down quickly and completely safe. Then it could have teleported right back and gotten more. Or teach shuttles how to do this, since they can travel at FTL speeds by opening up Mass Effect corridors. Or better yet, just create a Mass Effect corridor into the Citadel. Ta-da! Congratulations, Extended Cut, you just subverted the plot again. Like it needed it. Ah, Mass Effect 3's ending, the gift that keeps on giving. And why is the second crewmate going with the injured one? Why would they leave? Can't the injured party limp to sickbay? Can't these red shirts drop their guns and just help them up instead? What are they shooting at anyway? Harbinger? He doesn't care about Shepard.
Preserve Shepard's body if possible. Stop Shepard. Focus on Shepard. Neutralize Commander Shepard. Your minions have failed, Shepard. Your allies have fallen, Shepard. You have no one left, Shepard. And now you stand alone, Shepard. You cannot stop us, Shepard. Shepard, you could have been useful.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Because, when trying to do an evac with one wounded personnel, you kind of don't want to attract attention, like by teleporting a flying spaceship cruiser groundside. You'd think that Anderson would have known about this insane maneuver by Joker that could have gotten everyone vaporized or exited the ship into the Earth's core and would have done a real Hail Mary, put some drama into that ace pilot who's the best of the best, but nope. Joker's just doing his thing. Things just happen. No need to explain them. You got your damn goodbye scene, so shut the hell up. And why does Shepard give a rat's ass about Edie and her body?
So if you're in there, are you still in the ship?
I exist primarily within the ship. For optimal control, this unit should remain within Normandy's broadcast or tight beam range.
You gotta get out of here.
This platform is disposable.
Don't argue, Edie.
Dude, it's Edie. What are... Oh.
Edie, I need you to preserve and protect the Normandy.
By making it a sitting duck for Harbinger? Edie is the Normandy. She never left it. You're the moron who had Joker perform this insane maneuver and now make it a sitting duck just because you thought Edie's body is somehow going to protect the Normandy. Are you stupid or forgetful? Which one is it?
The body's non-functional, Edie. Get out of here before you are too.
She never left the ship. She is the ship. Ugh.
The Normandy's survival is not strategic.
What does that even mean?
That's an order, Edie. A moral one.
What the hell is a moral order? Are you quoting Immanuel Kant on the existence of God? What is going on?
I need to know somebody's getting out of this alive.
By putting everyone else on the Normandy in harm's way? Or by getting them out of the fight in orbit? Because, Joker's just going to go back up there and keep fighting, and you might have just drawn the Reaper's attention. Oops. Oh, sad monkey man face. Oh, I'm so glad you put this drama in there. It's so dramatic. Wow, love that symmetrical blood splatter across Tally's faceplate. Notice how this would be different if you choose Tally's standard outfit? So, was the Mako bleeding, or is that internal? It's definitely not Garrus's blood. Or did Bioware just hire some intern and churn this thing out? Usually I don't care about graphics, but can we please stop screwing around with Tally's face? Oh, and if your EMS is too low, Harbinger just kills them. What the hell does EMS have anything to do with anything in this scene? On another note, I have nothing against video games using the same assets for different purposes, like Kailing's broken sword and Tally's knife. Doesn't bother me a bit. The scenes are so quick it doesn't make a difference, well, aside from Shepard having random, ungodly strong wrists. In fact, reusing assets is good game design. However, I draw the line at this. Now, I could be wrong here. A broken sword and knife, okay, but purely for gameplay in the Firewalker DLC, and an energy-based alien space elevator, which the entire plot goal, that is Hammer Team's missions, that no one has ever seen or heard of before and never used. There's no reason to trust this thing, figure out how it works on a battlefield, let alone follow this insane ground plan when we have teleporting spaceships. My God.
You're gonna pay for that!